Hello everyone. Today is our last lecture in this semester, and I'm sorry that I post this lecture really late because I have been preparing this lecture for a long time today. And today's topic is suggested by Domain, and he talked to me last semester. And at that time, I couldn't find other faculties who's able to teach this lecture. And then after I have done a new research paper on the ethics of the educational data mining, and then I feel I'm better prepared, so I decided I want to give this lecture today. And as I said, today's lecture is about the ethics, so there's no technical thing at all, and we are only talking about what are the things we should be aware of and what are the things will happen or will not happen in the recent future. Okay, well, when we talk about the ethics of the data science, and one of the biggest thing is, well, our personal information, right? And well, we can call it personally identifiable data. It could be my name, my email, or my social security number, and that is definitely one of the biggest thing. And then there are beyond that, there are even more things we want to talk about. Well, and I want to acknowledge that for this lecture, since I'm doing research on educational data mining, I may talk more and give you more examples related to educational data mining, which is the data science applications on educational data. However, I would say that it should be a good field that I can get a lot of examples from because number one, there are really a lot of the educational data and there are a lot of interesting research questions that people want to investigate. And number two, educational data is one of the most sensitive personal data that people want to protect because when we are protecting the educational data, we are protecting the young people and the people who are not that prepared for this word yet. So those are the people we definitely want to put more protections on. Well, other than the educational data, another type of data people really want to protect should be the healthcare data. So, for example, if in the recent weeks and you have been seeing my face every day, well, what if I recorded all those videos in a few days, and after that, I got COVID-19. And then no one know that because you have been seeing my face on YouTube every day, and you don't know that. And then after a few weeks, and I have recovered, and then I'm recording today's video. Do you know that? Well, probably no, because I just recorded a lot of videos, and then I'm posting all the videos one by one each day, so you don't feel that. Well, but if my healthcare data is leaked, and then people find that hey, Dr. Song had COVID-19, and then people may say, ew, you had COVID-19, right? So if so, I don't really want this information to be leaked, right? So this is the data we definitely want to protect. And for the and those two different type of data set, they are different. So for the educational data, it is okay that we just keep the data at one place. We don't want the data to be shared. So protecting the educational data is one problem. However, if we want to consider the healthcare data, how do we want to protect the healthcare data is another problem because we want to protect the data. And number two, we also want to share the data. If I'm moving to another city, for example, and then I may have a lot of the healthcare record being transferred or taken with me so that I can bring to my next doctor, right? So, for the healthcare data, and we need to protect that, and we also have to have that secured while it is transferred. So, putting those two together for the healthcare data, and one of the approach that people have been talking about is how about we make use of the blockchain. So we put the healthcare dataset into a blockchain. So in this way, well, the healthcare data, they are encrypted, and then, well, when I try to make the changes, and I can't do that because I can't change a single node of the blockchain and then change everything. So, well, because they are duplicated copies in other systems as well. So if I change only one node, saying I want to erase the record that Dr. Sang had COVID-19 in the spring 2020, and then I erase that on one of the nodes, but in the other nodes, and they will all have the information saying Dr. Sang had COVID-19. So in this case, erasing the record on one node doesn't really help. Okay, so that is a data protection protection. That's not our topic. So, well, before we move on and talk about the ethics, let me first give you a few horror stories. Well, those are horror stories happen in the educational settings, and well, when the data is leaked in the educational settings, and then really bad things can happen. And the first thing is, well, Edmodo, that is a educational system, and then it leaked, well, 11 gigabytes of the record, and those kids are K-12 students. So, well, I would say they're not ready for that. They're really young. They're not ready for their personal information to be leaked to the black market. And then, well, and then when people find this data has been leaked, and this data has already been sold many times in the black market or the dark network. So, well, it was really bad. Well, and you may say, well, if it is just the student information, we may know their names, their gender, their birthday, and their address. So why it is bad? Well, that data itself is not the worst case. And the worst case is if we combine the data we have already acquired, and then we combine that with some auxiliary dataset, and then it can be really terrible. So let me give you an example. Say I registered myself to a educational system. Say, for example, Canvas. Okay, on Canvas you will have my name, and then you will have my email, and then you may also have my password. Okay, and so this is just the data from a educational setting. Well, if I take this data and then I use this data to hack the email, and then based on the educational data, I can hack an email. And if I want to go further, and if this email is linked to my Apple account, and then it will be a harder problem. So if someone stole my Apple account, and then my cell phone can be locked, right? And then, well, if I have the payment associated to Apple, and then this person might be able to use my Apple ID to buy things. Well, this is not a fiction because this happened to my mom. Well, my mom's email was hacked, and then, well, someone locked her phone, and well, they didn't steal anything really important from her Apple account, but this was scary enough. So, well, her cell phone got locked, and we have to send it back to Apple to get it unlocked, and we have to do a lot of the justification saying this is my cell phone, this is my purchase record, and then, well, I have never allowed anyone else to use my Apple device or my Apple account. So it was a painful process. So the point I'm trying to make is, well, the data itself may not give us a lot of power to really damage a person or to do some really bad things. But the scary part is if we combine the data with some auxiliary dataset, and then it gives us a lot more power. Okay, and the next horror story, that is a even worse story, and that was, well, after the the college entrance exam in China. Well, one group of the criminals, they hack a system, and then they stole the some of the students' information. They have just finished the Chinese version of the SAT, and then they're waiting for the admissions from the college. So at that point, this group of criminal, they contact one of the student, and they say, hey, well, I have your information, and I see you're applying for this university, and I see you are applied for some financial aid. Okay, so well, we are about to issue that financial aid to you. Well, that's a good story, right? And then the criminals continue, and they say, okay, to process your financial aid, to issue that, you need to first send this amount of money to this account, and after that, we will put the financial aid, the money, also to that account. So combining your money and the new financial money, and then you will be able to pay your tuition. Whoa, whoa. So, well, probably this kind of trick happen every day. Well, but at that time, that was a really good target, because that was a student just finished the Chinese version of SAT, and she's waiting for to hear about the updates about the financial aid, and then she know that she really need that money to go to that college. So it was really a really bad timing. Well, that girl believed that, and that girl actually put this money into the specified account. And you can imagine the rest of the story. The story was, well, the criminal just take the money and then say, okay, bye bye, I got your money. And well, that girl was very sad, and then he well she died all of a sudden. So well, this is a really bad story happening in China. Well, I'm really ashamed of this story. And if you want to read more about this story, you can click on this link. And well, this is China Daily. I believe this is a website supported by Chinese government. So even Chinese government can't deny this. So it was really a sad story, and I'm ashamed about this. Okay, so I'm going to continue our discussion in the next video.